I'd like to welcome everybody to the, what is this, April edition of the Westside Computer Club. And we're going to have our open forum and then go into a continual open forum or just general topics, whatever we run across, since we don't have a presenter. And I was really hoping we could kind of strong arm somebody into doing a presentation for one of our upcoming months, May, June, July, August, something down the line. Someone could pick a month and take it from there. I know Harry's just dying to do a presentation on something. So we're going to assign Harry what, August? Harry, you said you'll do something in August, right?
Oh, next month.
Yeah, no, well, listen, I'll give him a little time. Harry's okay, so we'll put Harry Nelson down on for August. See if he's awake.
Yeah, he just may not have his audio.
Wayne, would you like to do like next month or September?
What do you want? What do you want me to talk about?
Oh, you can pull a rabbit out of the hat. I don't care. You just let me know what comes up on your plate.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll put you down. Wayne is going to do something in September.
No, not September. I won't be
Okay.
here in September.
When? Okay. September,
I'm
October.
gonna be out of town. I probably be around in October. I
Okay.
know we're not going to be here in September.
Okay, October. Wayne's going to do October. And he'll let me know maybe a month before, so what it's going to be. And then Harry, we're going to put Harry down for what, August? And he's being quiet over there, so he's going down on the books. All right, we got to start. We got two. So anyways, like I said, welcome everybody to the club. Does anyone have any things they'd like to discuss? I know Bob P and Tim were talking about webcams. Would you like to continue that conversation?
Well, go ahead, Tim.
The webcams that vary in quality, yes. But when you're trying to train it on a monitor, like we were starting to talk about, it also depends upon how well that webcam works with the resolution of the display. Because that was my biggest problem, was the quality of the video was more distorted by the webcam screen resolution issue than say a reflection or lighting effect, I guess is the best way to put it.
Okay, well, continuing along those lines, I was digging around in a backpack looking for something else, maybe some kind of a cable, I think, and I found I had a webcam in there sitting in a little pouch. And I thought, oh, this has got to be one of those old notebook ones. I've already set one of those up that looks at my keyboard here, and it's really garbage resolution. But no, this was a nice Logitech webcam that must have come from a previous computer, and it was a nice enough one that I had a reason to use it. My other group, one of my other groups in Massachusetts, is a Linux user group, and somebody was circulating an email about mechanical keyboards and how to choose them. And so we have an article on it. I have an article that I've dug up, and I can dig up others about mechanical keyboards. And we talked about the kinds of switches that they use, the kind of feel that they have, the kind of feedback you expect from a mechanical keyboard, and why gamers often don't want that much of a tactile feedback, but they want a keyboard they can glide over with their hands. Anyway, how does this tie in with webcams? I took my spare webcam that I had just dug up, got a nice regular camera tripod, some Velcro, and attached the webcam to the tripod and trained it on the keyboard. So then I could pan it around without causing people to get dizzy. And I could And I could capture how the LEDs get set, which is not documented online or anywhere else that I know of for this model. And it's a fairly nice mechanical keyboard. And I showed the pattern that I like to use so that I can highlight various things. And it's very different from this silent keyboard, which is a membrane keyboard. And I can definitely do 15, 20, 30 minutes on that anytime you guys want.
I think we might be doing that. Are you set up? You want to do it tonight?
I am not set up with the other computer right now.
Okay.
It would take me a little while to fire it up, and I might miss some of the wonderful words of wisdom from the rest of the meeting. It can be done if you're really desperate.
Well, or we could do this next month.
Why don't we do it next month? Because then it'll come off better.
Okay.
And I'll have time to dig up the articles so I can show you what I'm talking about so everybody's well versed in the technical details and in what these switches are and who makes them and things of that nature. And people then will have an idea what a key puller is.
Just out of curiosity, your make model of mechanical keyboard, generally, what does it run?
Okay, mine is not an expensive one. It is a Red Dragon. It's called Sora, Surara, and it's model K582. And that one does not use the Cherry MX switches, but instead the Chinese manufactured OEMU switches. I don't know whether that's OMU or WEMU, but that's the company that makes the switches. They're fairly decent, but the whole keyboard, gosh, it must have been in the $50 to $100 range, probably closer to 50. And the one that I'm using now for the meeting, of course, is just probably around 30-ish. I can dig up the details as to how much they actually cost.
Next meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'll have all these details, cost, choosing, technical details.
Okay.
Now,
Why people would be interested.
Sounds like a great topic.
a lot of the mechanical keyboards, and the reason I'm asking, do have a fairly hefty price.
Yeah, you can pay hundreds. And you can also pay very little, but get a very crummy keyboard.
Even an IBM Selectric.
This one has a close feel to an IBM Selectric if you get a certain type of key,
Okay.
certain type of switch. And I can explain what a switch is versus a keycap.
Sounds good. Hold that thought next month.
Yeah, let me write that in my notes that I have to do that.
All right.
But anyway, the webcam aspect of it was that I just simply had this webcam laying around, and it turned out it gets fairly decent pictures with the tripod. So I thought, hey, why don't I turn this toward the screen and see if it gets good screenshots? Not too bad, depending on the lighting. Not too bad. So maybe I can get some screenshots of things that happen pre-boot if people need them.
Sure.
See what I can do. But then again, I would have to have a way of recording, and I'm not set up for that. So it's a possibility.
Can't you just doesn't Windows have a built-in video recorder?
Not any longer. It had step recorder, but they got rid of that, at least for Windows 11.
Bob, check out VLC. It has
VLC. VLC player for recording.
Yeah, guarantee it.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Yeah. How well it works as far as quality, I only tested it way back when they were first making that available, and I haven't tried it since. So experiment with it first.
There's also since it would be let's see. Yeah, I could set it up on the other computer with either VLC, or there are several Linux tools that are good screen recorders. And see what I could come up with by way of recording things. And if anybody had any requests, like what it looks like when Ventoy boots or something like that, and what it looks like when we get into these various setup tools.
What, Bob, what video camera are you using right now?
Right now, I have a Logi 650 something or 6 something,
Okay.
which is one of their low end webcams that I'm using now. The software I'm using with it, I just discovered that my Intel Arc video driver came with the ARC came with camera stuff and all kinds of other add-ons, so I don't have to use the Logitech software, which is crummy software. Instead it's Intel.
The camera you're using has tracking.
Intel has tracking. This is the Intel virtual camera, virtual HD camera.
So is the camera actually moving, or is it just changing the objective?
What is happening is the camera is pretty much the same, but the graphics driver is doing the work. And I don't have any separate discrete graphics. It's onboard graphics inside the CPU, and it's 12th gen. And the Iris Xe driver includes Intel ARC. At least the WHQL version of it does. And let me pull it up and see if I can give you a screenshot. Just a minute. Let me manipulate everything so that I can do the Zoom screenshot. Zoom, here you are.
So this driver is called Intel ARC?
Yeah, and it's common to almost all of the XE and maybe even some lower level drivers.
Okay.
If you have above a certain level of driver and about maybe a 10th gen or higher, maybe even lower Intel processor, you can download this utility, and it usually comes in as part of your driver. And again, the term for this type of driver from Intel is WHQL. It's not the bare bones driver. It's the whole driver software package. And it also includes some display audio, which I don't know what that does. Let me share the screen and show you what the ARC looks like.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get ARC. There's ARC control. Let's share that. Okay, and let's get you guys out of the way. Yeah, let's put you down at the bottom. Okay, so there it is. Can everybody read what these things say? And so I am able to do, I don't know everything that it'll do for broadcast or capture, but you can do a screen capture. You can change highlights. You can make up a file that contains your settings and gaming highlights, things of that nature. So you can change how the camera behaves that way. Logitech has a much better set of adjustments just for the image quality. And then with this camera, if I put auto frame off, it will not follow me around.
Oh.
If I put it on, it will follow me and it will zoom in or zoom out as needed. If I lean back, it'll zoom in and it will track my nose.
That is
basically. And lighting adjustment. There are effects with lighting adjustment. Let me just go to none. That's how it looked before. And now let's do an effect of, maybe I can replace my background. And just like you can in Zoom, only it works through the driver. I can do style transfer. I don't know what that does, but well, I am set for some kind of a, okay, let's do a background blur. I can do that. And I can do the blur strength from very little to a whole lot, and it's not going to show up very much in this room. I have modes that are performance or quality. And I'm going with performance because this is Zoom. I can select which camera. I have two of them. The quick cam. And let's get the background blur out of there. And that's on my keyboard. This is my membrane keyboard. And it's going to zoom in on me. If I do that, then we can get the whole keyboard in one shot. I just turned off auto frame, so it won't think my hands are the target. And let's turn that on again for tracking and go back to Logi. And that is a Logi 615 HD.
Can I see the
And
drop down on the resolution?
what's this?
Can I see the drop down on the resolution, please?
Okay, I should really have it somewhere around here for meetings.
Ooh,
That's not good. It wants this. There we go. 1080p, full HD. Now you can see me in greater detail. But if I want to conserve bandwidth, I'll drop it down to either, well, 480 again has that same problem. So down to 360. So that allows for, there's less lag, less latency at 360, and you can still see me. So I think I'll leave it there. I don't know what enable virtual camera would do. I don't know whether I can turn it on or off. Okay, now I have virtual camera on. And, oh, what it did was it got rid of my preview. Okay, that's okay. I preview on. So that's the Intel Arc interface. And if I want to know the drivers I've got, I can update them. But I also have the Intel drivers and update assistant tool, which updates all the Intel drivers. I also can go to ASUS or ASUS, as you might know it, and get drivers from there because this motherboard is basically an ASUS motherboard with an AMI BIOS, and which I have updated also. And we have things like various performance features, which I can look up and do things like that. I don't have a GPU, so I don't do that. I display, it can say various things. You can do multiple displays. Color can change various things here. This is what you would do with the Logi controls, these color things. And there's information about what I've got. I've got an HD TV I'm using. It doesn't have anything for global. And let's go back to camera. And I'm only minimizing it so that I can be in the Zoom meeting. And let me drag you guys up so that I can unshare. Let's see if you will go over here. And now I can stop share. So
Is this
that's
software?
the tour. What?
Is this software you downloaded from Intel?
It actually comes in with the driver if you get the driver from Intel, from their website. I'm going to see if I can run the assistant so that you can see the screen where I got it from. What I'm running is the driver and support assistant. And I'm going to run it as administrator. Let's see if I don't crash.
you didn't crash yet.
Okay, where am I?
You're
Okay,
sitting
you
in your
guys.
living room.
Yeah, we're still there. Actually, it's my bedroom and the living room, whatever. What I'm going to try to do, it didn't run that way, so let's do it again. Let's just open that. Okay, it's not going to do it from in here. All right, there's another way to do it. All right, let's see if we can do that. Okay, I've got the screen. Now let me see whether I can do a share screen, and I'm going to do my whole screen. Screen. All right. Let me drag you guys. See if I can drag you up. Can't do that. I'll drag you down again then. And this is how I know that I have the ARC Iris Xe graphics driver, which I downloaded through here. And somewhere, oh, here it is. WHQL certified for Intel ARC A series graphics, Intel Iris Xe graphics, and Intel Core Ultra processors with Intel ARC graphics. The Core Ultra is the one that has the NPU, or at least some of them do. Not all of them. Some of them do. And
I noticed.
what?
Yeah, I noticed my laptop has an Intel Iris Xe graphics.
So you would be able to download this driver by getting the Intel driver and support assistant.
Support assistant.
That's a
Okay.
piece of software you download. It's an app.
Okay.
And you run it as administrator from an admin account. Otherwise, it may not do what it's supposed to. I'm going to try to refresh the results. And it will scan my system. And there it is. It says I'm up to date, which I am. And there's one more thing. Learn more about this update. And it tells you all about what it is. Available downloads, introduction, detailed description. And it's a Windows 11 23H2 driver. And the 11th gen, 12th gen, check, check. So if you're 11th gen or higher, you can use this.
Okay.
So that's what that is. And let me put everybody else to bed while I get you guys back up and running with your meeting.
Thank you, Bob. We see that we've got anyone got any other questions on this subject? Nope. Ed, I see you just chimed in.
Stanford, can you see me?
No.
Okay, so what do I have to do to make it so you can?
What you need to do is go down to where it says video. And I believe
Start
you can,
video?
yep, and start the video.
Okay, I click that and it stays crossed out.
Okay, then, do you have a webcam camera?
Yes, but let me make sure it's plugged in. I don't know, I haven't used it in a long time. Let me just trace the wire.
Also, you can right-click on your image and select rename to put your full name on.
Okay, I don't see my image anywhere.
You get a black square with ED in the middle.
No, all I see is 6 people.
That has to do with your view. You have to go onto the upper right corner and
Okay,
view and select gallery.
okay, I've got gallery selected.
And you're not seeing 3 others like yourself?
Does he have hide self view?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have under that same place under under view? Do you have hide self view?
I see that. You want me to click on it?
No. Is it what else? Is anything else checked there, or is it just gallery checked?
Just galleries check.
Okay.
Yeah, I get 3 black squares. One's got my name, one's got Harry Nelson, and the other one has ED. Which
Well, that's probably me. But maybe let me double check. So my camera is plugged in. At least it appears to be. Maybe I need to plug it into something else.
And then when you click on the video camera and you click the up caret, tell us what's being displayed there in the dialog box.
Okay, start video. Oh, there's a little click next to it. But okay.
Yeah.
HD webcam. My iPhone camera. My desk view camera. That's probably what I want. Is my
So you need to check one of those to see which one's going to work.
well, the HD webcam is checked on. Let me try my. So if I do my iPhone 14 camera, can it show my screen?
I don't know. It would have to be tethered or somehow linked to your computer.
I can plug it into my computer.
Well, then that would work.
All right, let's see if that works.
I don't know. I've never done that.
I haven't either. So let me.
But
Usually it says
Mac, I believe.
so. There is 3 dots like next to each of your names. Let me try my iPhone camera and see what happens. Because if that'll work, I'll switch to it. Then I can show you what I want to show you maybe on. I don't know. Do you see anything from that?
No,
No,
All right, I'm going to turn my camera on. Do you see anything from that?
nope, not so far.
Okay. So it's not my.
it shows your camera's turned off, but it does show your camera's attached.
Okay. So let me try to attach it someplace else. I'm gonna disconnect my phone. Let me find an extra something I'm not using. Let's see. This goes to here. This goes. Okay. I'm going to plug it into my.
While he's playing around with this, does anyone have any questions for the group or our open forum?
I'm plugging it to my keyboard. See if that works. It says check microphone and speaker systems. Video. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Okay. So let me plug it in somewhere else.
It sounds like it might be a selection of video output.
Right, of course.
Down on the bottom of the Zoom screen on the left side, there's a microphone and a camera. Your
Right.
camera has a red line through it, but next to it on the right side is a little up caret. Click the up caret to bring up video view.
Okay, let me try that. All right, let me get rid of this. Oh, there I am. You see me now?
Not yet.
No,
Okay, well, I see myself.
okay, you have a camera with a line through it. So you
Yeah.
need to give it permission.
Yes.
Okay. So let me try it again.
There you are.
There you
Okay,
are.
good. Good.
Okay.
So let me get rid of this.
Hello, Ed.
Just keep it up there because I want to show you. Stanford, is this the time that I could show you this
Sure.
app?
Sure.
Okay.
Ed, you want to rename your screen so we know everybody knows your name?
No problem. How do I do that?
You right click on your picture and choose rename.
Okay. Now let's see.
Rename.
So I have settings. It says video has my picture, but how do I get my picture on the screen?
Well, how do you get your picture on the screen?
Yeah.
What pictures are you seeing? Are you seeing everybody, but not
Yeah, I
you?
see everybody, but I see 6 people.
Okay.
Let me click on view again and go to gallery. Oh, show self view. Okay, good. Now I think yeah, now I see me. All
Okay.
right, so that was off. Okay, so you guys had a presentation on seeing AI and not seeing AI. You had a presentation on AI, and my wife has recently gone legally blind. So in trying to find something that would help her, I went over to Spectrius over at the Wheaton Eye Clinic, and they suggested using this Seeing AI app. And what I'll do, let's see, when you bring it up, I don't know how this is going to work or not. We'll try it.
I sent out a thing in the chat so everyone knows the name of this app. Ed and I had talked just yesterday about this app, so I thought it was really intriguing. I tried this out a short while ago, and it's really cool how it
Okay,
works.
so this is just my
131 NCS.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, it's in the text mode right now. So I'm going to, if I can do it here, just let's see.
First thing, you want to give us an overview of what this does?
Okay, sure. So what it does two things. And I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use my phone to do it. It's made by Microsoft for people who are visually impaired. And it's called Seeing AI. And you can download it. You can't download it on your computer, but you can download it on like an iPad or an iPhone. And even a fairly old iPhone still works. And when you first fire it up, let's see if I have it on here, which way I have it. Hold on a second.
Document.
Oh, good. So I have it. You can change the order with which things come up. One of the things it does, it'll scan a bar, like on a can, and it'll tell you what's in that can.
A barcode.
Okay, a barcode. But let's say you can't see. You can just tell it to run Hey Siri, run Seeing AI. It'll run the program. And initially it comes up as text. And so, for example, we had one of our elevators was going to be out of service, but it turned out it wasn't because they didn't have the parts to fix it yet. They're going to redo it. So the last time I was with my wife and we came up to the sign on that particular elevator, and I said, oh, here's what you need to do if you want to look at this. And I just had her take the phone.
Bottom and left edge is not visible.
You can hear what it's saying because it's not finding things. But anyway, in the text mode, which is the default, which I've changed on this to the document mode, I just held it up to the sign, 8.5 by 11 sign on the screen. I mean, next to the elevator, and it read everything that was on it. But if you went for documents, I now put it in the document mode, and I'm going to take this piece of paper, which is about a piece of exercise equipment. It's called tonal, that we just got. And it starts out by saying digital weight may feel different than what you're used to in a gym, and that's normal. So I'm just going to read you just the first line. But what this does, it takes a picture of whatever document you have there. It puts it up into the cloud, doesn't store it, and it reads it back to you. And now what I'm going to do is hold it on here, and hopefully it'll find the edges.
Processing.
Now, I'll show you on this screen. You might not be able to see it, but down in, let's see if it does. Yeah, down in the lower left-hand corner, there's a play button.
Yeah.
And it basically has the text of what it copied and read into it. And I'm just going to hit the play button for a little bit, and you can hear what it's saying.
Digital weight may feel different than what you're used to in the gym, and that's normal. Lifting digital weight feels harder than free weights because there's no momentum assisting you. To help you feel safe and confident, Tonal is programmed to be conservative with starting resistance to help you get acclimated. Tonal takes the guesswork out of strength training by adjusting your weight in 1 pounds increments as you get stronger. Join a program. Multi-week programs are the best way to introduce yourself to Tonal because the exercises
So it's reading everything exactly word for what's in here.
Tonal also offers
I don't know if you can see it.
programs to give you more variety and introduce you to several coaches at once. Try Simply Strength, a 2-week, beginner-friendly program featuring 2 expert coaches guiding you through basic movement patterns. Tonal also offers hundreds of one-off workouts. Look at the
So I just hit the pause button. Anyway, and for my wife, I just tell her to say, "Hey Siri, run Seeing AI," and it brings the program up. Now, there's one other thing that I'm going to show you. I'll take a second. I'll be right back. Hold on.
I'll further add on this when I tested it out that you don't have to take a picture of whatever it is you want it to read. There's in text mode, if you just hover your camera from your phone over whatever it is you want it to read, it will just start reading it. And like in this case, I'll have it start reading from the newspaper. So what I tried to do is I just held it over a print from the Chicago Tribune and just held it over the image, and it started interpreting it and reading it right to me. You can also take this and put it over, let's say a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's. Oh, you can't see it very well. Sweet Baby Ray's, and it'll read you all the ingredients is on there. So it's kind of neat on how this works, and it just works live and active.
So if
I'll
you're
pause for a second.
Hold on, Ed.
So if you want to find
Ed,
a piece of paper.
Ed, hold on. Bob had
Sure.
a question.
No, I think I'd like Ed to continue and then I'll ask after.
Okay, all right.
Sure. Okay. So it likes to see the edges of the paper. So I took a placemat, red, and I happen to have an old Swiss Valley Farms milk, like gallon milk container. I turned it on its side. I put the paper in here. I'm sorry, the placemat inside, and set this on the table. And then I'm going to lift it up a little bit. I took my iPhone and I put it so that the camera can go through this hole here. So I made a portable stand for it. And if I do that, it looks something like this. So it's a perfect distance for picking up a piece of paper. Now you can't see it. I may be able to just take my monitor off, my little camera, putting it down here.
What's the objective, Ed?
The objective is to make it easy so you don't have to stand there and hold it. Okay?
So you could put
So
the
I'm going to take the
documents
same piece
inside
of
this.
paper. What?
You could put the documents inside this crate and it'll take a picture and read them to you.
Right. And so I think I can just unclip this. Yeah, I can. All right, let me get it out of here. So all I did is I have my phone up here and the document down here. I'll get out of the way. But so now if I'm going to go back.
Hold steady. Processing. Digital weight may feel different than what you're used to in the gym, and that's normal. Lifting digital weight feels harder than free weights because there's no momentum assisting you. To help you feel safe and confident, Tonal is programmed to be conservative with starting resistance to help you get acclimated. Tonal take.
So the only reason I did that is you can buy these $3,000-$4,000 machines that'll do this. They also have a nice little handheld. It's about this big, only it's only about this thick, and it costs $2,000. And it does have a stand that costs like $200. And the stand is maybe about this high, and you can put it in it, or you can take the document and you can just aim this little handheld device at it. It comes with a lanyard around your neck. But if anybody has an iPhone, or an old iPhone, or an old smartphone, they can run this app, and instead of having this big contraption, I don't know what one of these little things costs, but anything that's big enough to have an opening that you can get your phone camera through, you can make your own portable one. Now, the only nice thing about the $2,000 one, it'll look at the page and it'll let you, let me do it here. It'll let you put your finger on the paragraph that you want it to read. And it's smart enough, and you take your hand away, it'll just read that paragraph. And if you want to read this paragraph, it'll read that paragraph. But if anybody has people that have vision problems, this is it's a neat little app that does everything. Now, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, Ed, I suppose that your wife is walking around and she wants to do something like look at a store and see when it is open, what the hours are, or what they're selling. Can she just point this app, the camera for this app, at that doorway, and it'll read everything that's there?
Yes. And I'll give you an example. I'm going to put it in text mode now. Let me see, go back here. All right, I'm going to put it in text mode, and I don't know your name, I'm sorry. It'll probably tell me. Bob Baxter has kegs in his, above his right shoulder. If I put it in text mode.
Short text. Kegs are screen. Record. CC. Show captions. Reactions. Raise hand.
So if you want to turn off, you just don't have anything there. It just read the word kegs. Okay. So if you had a document or like a sign, also when my wife was reading the sign that said that the elevator is going to be delayed in service, right above that, it was a sign that said apartments number so-and-so are down this way, apartment number so-and-so this way. And I accidentally lifted it up and it read the apartments.
Very useful.
Yeah. So it's just a different version of AI, if you will.
Very helpful version too.
Yes.
Now what will all the seeing eye dogs do?
They can't read. They can't read text.
They can't read.
The
Yeah,
one
I know.
I think it also works with different languages, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried it.
Yeah. What we need is for an app to combine this AI stuff with also being able to warn you of things like if you're stepping into traffic or if the walk light changes, things like that.
There's several, in addition to the text scanning, then there's directly text. Then there's like home. I don't know if what it'll tell me.
Preview.
So I put it on the home. Stanford, did you try the home or the people button?
No.
And I haven't either. And there's another one that says dollars.
Currency.
Okay, so this would be nice. Let's say you can't, and I just went to the bank.
Oh. So
So,
it says here under the person, it says scan your surroundings to find out how many people are around you, how close they are, and their facial expressions.
$100.
So-
$100.
so I just got $100 bill and I scanned it under the currency.
$100.
Okay. And it said it was $100 bill.
Wow.
Now I'm on the currency app and I've got, I think, some 5s and 10s and 20s. Okay, here's a $50 bill.
Where did you see currency?
It's on the far right. It's a square with a dollar sign.
Person.
Square with the, oh, this slide's,
$50.
okay, got it.
$50.
Oh, there's a
And
whole
here's a
bunch of things
$50
in it.
bill.
Man, you're rich. We got to go to his house. He's got all the money.
Yeah.
He's got $100 just hanging around.
No, I just went to the bank.
$1.
That's more our
$1.
style.
Doesn't
Just-
recognize change.
And here's, I'll let it tell you what it is first.
$5.
So
Does it
even
work?
though you might,
Try coins.
I don't know, I don't have any coins here. Let's see.
$10.
There you go.
So all I'm saying is, if you're going to be paying somebody, if you're going to give somebody a tip, but you don't know what the money is, you could just use this and it'll tell you. And now what I did before I turned this on is I turned my hearing aids, I disconnected from my hearing aids. But it'll also work straight to my hearing aids. Otherwise you wouldn't have been able to hear
So you can do it so other people around you won't even hear it.
it. Exactly.
And that's because it's using the Bluetooth connection from your phone to your hearing aid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Any Bluetooth to your ears.
Right.
Right. Any Bluetooth to your ear. Anyway. So I'm not sure what y'all are going to be talking about, but Sanford asked me to demonstrate, so that's
You
what I'm
did it.
doing.
You did it. Thank you, Ed.
Okay. Now I'm going to go back to spending some time with my wife.
Okay. Thanks for
Okay.
chiming in and taking a few minutes out of your day to show us this wonderful app called Seeing AI. That's SEEING space AI by Microsoft.
Exactly.
And it's free.
Okay. And it's free.
And it's free. Thank you, Ed.
Sure.
Great presentation.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's a pretty cool app. I tried it out and it's really neat how it works. You can just hover it over something and it'll start reading it to you. I sure would like to try out the money thing and see if it works in other denominations, other forms of money, maybe pesos or liras or whatever.
Well, I'm quite sure it could do those.
It probably can.
And euros.
And euros. Yes, definitely should do euros.
I don't know if
I
it can
got
do
some,
their,
I have some Canadian dollars.
Okay.
could probably do that. I don't know if it could do the euro coins because they usually have a coin for a euro.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, probably won't recognize coins.
I wouldn't count on it. It might.
It might. I could go get some coins and try it out to see. Oh, wait, I got a quarter in my pocket. Let's see what happens with that. Okay, I'll give this a whirl and give this a try. Come on.
In my other group, there was also some discussion
Currency.
about apps that identify plants and mushrooms. And the group was skeptical about identifying mushrooms because there's some that look so similar to ones that are not good to eat.
Okay, so it does not read a quarter.
Okay,
It does not even recognize that it's a quarter. So, but it does give you the options of changing the denominations from Australian dollars, Brazil, British, Canadian, euros, yada, yada, yada. But the default is USA. So it doesn't do coins, but it will do other denominations.
okay. Coins
Does
may
it
be a
know the
bit-
rate of exchange?
No, that would be something different.
There are apps for that.
There are apps that do the rate of exchange.
And there are apps that'll calculate your value added tax and all of that.
Yep. There's an app for it.
Yep.
Anyone else want to comment on this AI product? Okay, I think that was a great one. I was trying to see if I could demonstrate Sora, which is the video app that ChatGPT or that OpenAI has come out with, but that's only available to developers. And since I don't have that kind of status, I couldn't show it. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with Sora, S-O-R-A, I believe is the name of it. And it was created by OpenAI, the people that made ChatGBT. And it's actually a video generating program that will basically it goes from text to video. So you tell it in a text mode what you want it to display and create. And it could be something like flying envelopes in the ocean, going under the sea or something like that. And I think on their display where you're at the Sora website, you see these little envelopes fluttering in groups like fish under the ocean, swimming around. So it can actually create video images. Of course, there's the concern is the fact that people are going to use it for nefarious things like making a candidate of a particular election say things or do things that you wouldn't normally see in real life, like standing on one foot or hopping up and down or something like that. But I can't demonstrate that.
Well,
This very same app, this very same technology, Sora, was cited by the Hollywood actors unions
Yes.
during their strike. And they have specifically named Sora as something the studios may not use without actors' permission.
And I think that's forward thinking of them because it's still in the developing preview stage. But it's going to come down the pipeline where they can essentially say, give a particular actor and have him do a certain scene in a certain setting, and it'll generate it.
Yeah, they'll give them like about maybe a day or less than a day's work, and then they'll take that and carry it throughout the whole film. Well, they're not allowed to do that anymore. There are work rules now.
Right, which is good. We need those.
also, tonight's news said that I think it's tomorrow night's Blackhawks game will be done in animation, probably through an AI application of the actual game.
They're gonna replay it in animated form?
They're as the game is being played, you see it in animation.
So everybody has the best seat in the house.
Yeah, kind of like a cartoon character animation going on of real people of a real event.
Well, they've been doing the overlays on football fields for football games for a long time.
Wow, this stuff
And
is really far.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And some people are getting a little antsy about it in terms of what it means for jobs.
Well, it can hurt jobs as it can also create jobs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just
And
like
that's what they don't understand is that, okay, when the automobile came along, what happened to the horse carriage and bridle and whip industries? They went away practically, but at the same time, too, a whole lot of new jobs were created.
And the same thing happened when switchboards became automated, and also when word processing programs started coming to individual workstations. The secretarial pool either changed, adapted, or was reduced. All of that happened.
Right.
And that was also a period of time when a lot of women left the workforce. And that had societal implications. So the
Great
AI,
subject.
the AI, powerful stuff.
Powerful stuff. Does anyone like to, should we explore any other aspects of AI tonight? Anyone have anything they want us to discuss or delve into? Nope.
Well,
Okay.
I think you'd be very interested in watching, what's it called, Nova, because there were a lot of things about AI on Nova, and that's WTTW on the internet. They had like, about 5 hours worth of AI information out there.
Did you take anything away that you'd like to regurgitate to us?
Well, I was just, so shocked by what they were going over. I didn't really try and write anything down. I just was enjoying it.
Okay.
They were showing out, how it was coming out of nowhere and how we should be using it, but how people are so scared about how jobs were going to disappear, like you're talking like right now. And for instance, this doesn't have to do with AI, what I'm going to say, but how when the train went across the West, how we lost cowboys. I mean, there you go, right there. And how AI is, one thing I can say is with AI, back in college, I was writing, the papers for my English class. Well, what do you do nowadays? You can use, ChatGPT to write your paper. And, right there is AI, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but
What I was going to talk about with regard to what AI can do, we have a company out in the Boston area, Boston Dynamics, which did those dogs. One of those dogs just went in on a standoff with police. And for the first time, an AI dog got shot.
Ooh.
They had to repair it, but at least we didn't lose a canine or an officer the way we did a couple of years back.
Huh. Did not hear this fact.
That I believe might have been in Sherburne, but somewhere in Mass. But yeah, it was actually a robot dog made by Boston Dynamics. Went in there to just see where the guy was, so that a cop wouldn't have to, and a canine dog, a real dog, wouldn't have to.
Okay, well, I did see something that really impressed me on the AI information, and it had to do with a loss of an arm. And a good sample there was if you're wearing a t-shirt, like an undershirt, the arm was lost right at the end of the t-shirt. And they put a mechanical arm there, and the fellow's fist, or hand, I should say, was electronically working with what his brain was telling it to do.
Yeah.
He was looking at it and he goes, well, I want to move my thumb. And, after a little while, he was getting his thumb to move. And, it was ridiculous. And the guy was able to make a fist. And that was like in the third portion, the third section. So it was after watching for, like 2.5 hours, it was showing me this kind of thing. And in the fourth portion, it was showing me something about a fella had not just 4 fingers and a thumb. Now they were attaching a 5th finger. So it's like 6 fingers or 4, 5 fingers and a thumb on one hand. And it was the wanting to use the toes on their foot to move that 5th finger. So a second small finger was there. And it was showing how he was making fists, and he could pick up a water bottle with that extra finger on his hand. That's what I'm talking about, how I was just kind of baffled by what they were doing.
So they're taking a prosthetic that has the ability to intercept the signals and turn it into a hand movement. But with AI, they're able to do more with it by incorporating an extra toe in there.
Well, they didn't have a toe. They had the fellow thinking about, have your toe, your foot or your toes on your right foot, make the extra finger, the 6th, or I can't say 6th finger,
Digit.
but the next finger, which would be your smaller small finger, be moving around when you want to have your toe do something. It was ridiculous, but the guy would be able to to pick up like a water bottle with that extra finger.
There's no magic that says there have to be 5.
Well, no, I mean, it was just ridiculous.
That's just evolution.
It's evolution, but some people are born with an extra digit, so let's
Yeah, but
not.
that's
do-
usually useless. That's usually
South
non-useful.
America, South America, they found a whole group of people
Yeah.
that have, 6 fingers and 6 toes.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
Do not want to play cards with them.
Yeah, turn them into magicians.
Yeah.
Might be better piano players.
Probably.
Well, I don't know about pianos, but good with guitars.
Or guitar.
They do have
Yeah, that's
guitars
the
down there.
finger yes.
Okay.
Hey, no, a little side point here. Have any of you heard from Mick Hendrick lately?
No.
No.
I normally get emails from him fairly often, and it's been nothing for like 3 weeks. And he's not answering his phone. I was just kind of wondering something's going on there.
Nope.
I was just mentioning that.
All right. Well, if you track them down, let us know. Maybe he left early for the eclipse.
Well, I'll let you know if I see him around here.
Okay, new question, new direction, new subject matter.
Well, I have a quick question for you. Is my picture changing or showing up there?
We see your picture, but nothing's changed.
Well, I mean, am I showing up? Because right now, Sanford, I see you on the screen, and when I'm talking, I expect to see me show up.
Change the view.
Go up to the right-hand corner where it says view.
Okay.
And then make sure it says gallery instead of speaker.
Oh, it says speaker. All right.
Change it to gallery.
And if hide self view is checked, uncheck it.
Hide self view is not checked. It just
Then
only
leave it.
checked-
Leave it alone.
The only thing checked is gallery.
Okay, you should be good.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, speaker will just highlight whoever's speaking.
Right.
Well, I was wondering why I didn't show up.
When you're in speaker view, it only shows you about 3 or 4 people at the top of the speaker.
Yeah.
And you can't, to see others, there's little indicators of arrows on the right and left side, so you can move some of the existing ones over and see another set of people. But most
I know about that, but I thought that I would drop in and show up in the center, but I didn't know I wouldn't. I don't talk much, so that's why I don't notice it.
You need
If you
to
want to
talk-
just, if you want to just stare at yourself, you can pin yourself.
I got nothing to say.
That is a function in Zoom.
Okay. Does someone have any new topics they'd like us to talk about tonight? We had our one presentation, a little micro one, but we had it. None.
Do we want to go over some of the things in the recent FYI?
Absolutely. That sounds like a good idea. I was just looking for that right now. There's an FYI that came up that
FYI number 2565 is what I'm looking at.
2565, yes. And I mean, oh, look at that. I got it right up on my screen already.
Anybody interested in what the FCC says is broadband now?
Which is saying, what's it saying, Bob?
Well, follow the link. The FCC is redefining what the definition of broadband is.
Yeah,
And it used to be 25 Mbps down, 3 Mbps up. Gosh, I had that like about a decade ago. But you almost had it.
It's right here.
Yeah. Now they're going to say 100 Mbps down.
Well,
And I think it's 10 up.
they've been talking about this for years. It now, I guess, is fact.
So when does this become effective? Is it immediately?
Scroll down, they say.
Let's see. Da, 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 da. 3 years prior.
No. But anyway, I think it's in a couple of years.
Look at commission striving for as of. It doesn't tell you when it becomes effective. So meaning, I'm curious. This means that if you already had subscribed and were paying for minimum service of 25 megabits, then they'll have to increase you to 100 megabits at no extra charge.
If you are participating in the federal program,
Correct.
and if the federal program continues to be funded. Funding
Right.
has just run out for the program.
Oh,
Right. Yeah, the program is no longer available to new people, and those that were in the program, it's either I think the end of this month that it stops.
Unless it is renewed.
And what's the chance of that?
Actually, a pretty good chance if you believe AARP's mailings.
I wouldn't believe it anyhow, unless I actually heard there's a bill to do it.
There is something pending, but it's going to have a hard time getting through.
That's right. That's what I'm getting at.
But it might possibly pass.
I mean, it might pass in the Senate, but the chances are mighty slim in the House.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd have to get through the House first. But I don't want to get into the politics.
Right. Let's keep that down to a minimum here. What are blue screens of death dumps? Did this show up on everyone's screen? Yep. What are blue screen of death memory dumps, and how can they help you? I don't know. I've never used a memory dump for any purpose. Has anyone here ever used a memory dump?
I've only used it a couple times when I was talking to other techs and they wanted to look at them. And then I would take and send it to them.
Okay.
But I haven't used it to do self-diagnostics. You can. Usually I just try and read the screen to find out what the problem is being pointed to on the last line of text that's on that blue screen there. And that usually gives me enough indication what's going on. And there are always log files that are in the Windows directory. They're buried down in System 32 under Windows directory. System 32 is a directory. And then there's a subdirectory of logs. And then there's another subsection that'll get you to the most recent log file.
Really? So you said you go to look under Windows.
Windows, System 32, logs, and then I can't remember the exact acronym off the top of my head, but it's like SRT or something like that. It's in the name of the subsection.
Boy, they don't make this easy, do they?
No, they don't. And the easier way of doing it in some instances is Microsoft Event Viewer. But that gets to be a little bit of a hassle trying to explain to non-techie people how to use the Event Viewer to be able to diagnose what's problems you're having and what to be looking for.
All right, let's see. I don't know, were you guys able to see that? This is that SRU?
Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like I do have stuff in here.
Oh yeah, guarantee it, because any running computer always keeps log files, period. And any of those log files that are not open currently can be deleted, but sometimes they give you valuable information when you're having problems. The ones that are open, you cannot delete until you log out, then log back in, and then that one you could delete.
They're not very big files.
No, they're not.
They're, what are they, 64 kilobytes or something like that. So I think this whole conglomeration here is 63 megs.
Yeah, they're not real big because they're simple text files. And there isn't much in there other than it keeps track of things that are going on. Like, for example, if you're having a problem booting up your computer, there may be a log file that tells you, okay, these are the things that successfully occurred. Oops, I got a problem. And this is the error code. And go from there. But the error codes, so many of them are so generic, they don't offer a great deal of help even for techie people trying to debug what caused the actual problem to be able to try and correct it, whether it's hardware or a software problem.
Well, you can't read this stuff because I'm opening it up and all I get is gibberish.
Yes. And they normally want you to view it with a proper viewer.
Any of them big? Oh, that one. Here's a data file. So I got one data file that's 62 megs in my system, but the rest are all 64K files.
Yeah, they're nothing spectacular, but sometimes they can be used to provide additional information. The event viewer is better and easier to use once you understand the principles of how to get to it. And that's under computer components. That normally might be accessed through the old control panel.
Here, I just typed in event viewer. And this is what, wait, let me do this.
Are you on 10 or 11?
I am on 10.
Okay.
And then I pulled up event viewer. I just typed in event viewer and this is what came up.
Okay.
Which is the event viewer. So to view the logs, I guess I would go to Windows logs. And I don't know which one I would want to look at.
Well, normally speaking, if you're having a problem, you're either in application, security, setup, or system. Those four are the main areas. Now, see, you got yellow triangles. That means it's a warning. Maybe there's a problem, maybe there's not. But you got one there that's got a red exclamation point, and that's an error that occurred. And then you have white ones with a inverted exclamation point for additional information.
Oh, we got security, setup, system, and forward events. And that one's got zip.
Yeah, usually it doesn't. It's usually a case where the forwarded events, you have to have multiple computers and you're forwarding the events to one controlling computer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into minutia here where there may be the top ones are pointing to some kind of maybe a hardware problem, and you're going down into the other sections. It could also be a software problem, such as an application. And you may be able to get more details of applications and service logs, narrowing it down from the top.
Ooh, I got lots of device setup problems.
Yeah, back on the 4th of April, which is today, you had an event 131 ID, and task category was none. You would have to try and determine what was causing it. It says metadata staging failed. Result gave you an error code. This is a 0x800-704-90 error code that you would look up in a general Google search for a container, and they're giving you the ID number of the container. And you'd have to track down the container ID number to maybe isolate what application is it involved with. It's
Well,
that's why
it's something I'm trying to do right now, isn't it?
it's up to you, but I mean,
No,
this
it's
Sorry, I don't understand.
it says here that the error occurred at 8:09 p.m. tonight.
this evening.
Yeah, so I wasn't trying. I don't know what I was doing at 8:09, but I was sitting here.
Well, were you working with that iPhone app or something like that?
No, because that was on my phone and not on my laptop.
Okay, so
That's
don't have your phone connected to your Windows.
You are correct. I do not have anything connected to my. I'm trying to see if this continues on. Oh, there's older dates. So
Yeah,
wow. So I
See,
don't know. Don't know what the heck's going on here.
it's hard to explain this to even fairly techie people to get enough viable information out of it to track down and, figuratively speaking, beat a problem until it's solved. But the event viewer has been around for, God, I think going back to XP.
It tells you down on the bottom what the general detail is on that.
Yes.
Device setup manager administration, device setup manager.
No, not that far down. Right,
You
yeah,
talk-
right there.
Oh, well, yeah, Tim was talking about that he was reading the hexadecimal part.
The bottom line says event log online help. That might detail that error code.
Okay,
Click that link down at the bottom of that screen.
sure. First, I'll copy this error code,
Okay.
and then I'll do this and see. Operating system and it. Okay. It doesn't tell you anything other than I can read their privacy statement.
Yeah, there isn't enough there. You would have to take that error code, do a Google search, and see if it gives you enough information to be able to crack what your problem was or what you were doing.
Okay. Occurs when using an Xbox console. Oh, yeah. I'm playing video games right now.
Pressing the Xbox button on the front, unplugging the console power cable. Okay.
I am not doing that on my PC.
That's one of your possibilities. There may be additional possibilities. I usually use, instead of the Microsoft support, I use regular Google, because then other techies will pipe in postings of the same error number and what they discovered.
Got it. Well, so now we know what Event Viewer looks like.
Yeah, but it's more for techies. The average person probably would be absolutely lost as to what's going on.
Sure. Like I am. I'm lost. I look at it and going, what does this mean? I see garbage.
Yeah, sometimes I can't figure out from what information it's given. I have used it in the past occasionally, but it's sometimes frustrating trying to use it and figure out what it's trying to tell you happened. And that's why sometimes the log files, when you can view them, may give you more granular information that might lead you to what's going on. And like I say, at the bottom of that blue screen to the right of that QR emblem code, there's one line of text and it will give you some pointing information, such as a driver was giving you a headache. So then you would know maybe it's a driver for the display or a driver for the graphical generator, a memory problem, an IRQ problem, something along those lines.
And again, for reading these kinds of files, you need specialized software. There are near software utilities for practically every one of these.
Yes. And they improve upon the basics that are in the event viewer to give you more precise information than the event viewer trying to figure out what it's trying to tell you. You might say that the event viewer is part of the log filing system. Every computer ever made creates log files so that when something goes wrong, the techies can figure out as quickly as possible what happened and take corrective measures.
And this sort of thing doesn't just happen in Windows. It happens in every operating system that's ever been made.
That's right. That includes Mac OS and the iPhone OS, iPad OS, and also you get Chrome OS and Android. So, I mean, if there's an OS out there that could have a problem, whether it's software or hardware, this is how the techs find out what's going on, because log files are always being generated. And in some cases, like in Linux, you can have a log file that was active the last time you were logged in. You can flip it upside down and use the same log file tracking new information while you're running.
Yep.
That usually it doesn't happen in most of the other OSs. I'm not sure about Mac OS. It might have that capability because it's originates from what's called a BSD, which is a micro version of Unix on a PC-based computer.
If it works on all the BSD derivatives, it should work with Mac OS.
Okay, it might. Mine are very old and obsolete, and I haven't the inclination to go out and get another Mac OS. But I mean, I had absolutely no problem. If you can do reasonably well in Windows systems, you can learn Mac very quickly. And if you can pick up Mac, there are flavors of Linux that are reasonable enough that you can transfer that too.
Yeah, what has been recommended lately, well, we'll do Linux at the Linux meeting.
Linux belongs at the Linux meeting. Which is a good reason for somebody to go and attend the Linux meeting, because there's so much great content. What happened at your last Linux meeting? You want to recap real quick, Tim, what you guys covered?
There was quite a bit of information. Usually I cover a lot of articles and I may have some videos, and I had videos about the boot up process for Linux, the file folder system, the file system itself, and one other one I can't remember off the top of my head. And so I had about I only showed 3 out of 4 videos, and the reason for that was I accidentally duplicated one video and skipped the 4th video that I wanted to show. But I mean, there's videos. Sometimes we're doing actual demonstrations. In the past, it was very techy, very geeky in Linux. Nowadays, it's getting much, much easier for a standard Windows user to be able to run many distros of Linux and have similar capabilities of a Windows system. One of the big differences, though, is I'll call it the naming convention of Linux applications. They come up with
Uh-oh. Is it me? Hello? Everybody froze on me.
there's a lot of applications that are now running on Windows as well as on Mac systems. And you also have some Windows applications running on Linux, such as if you like Microsoft Edge, feel free to put Edge on a Linux system if you wish to. There are people who want to keep it free and open source software only, and there are other people who may not care as much, and because they may come from a Windows environment, if they use Edge at all, that's one that they could be comfortable with. You can also get Chrome on there, and you can get Firefox. There's 3 of the top browsers.
Now, in Linux, we usually use Chromium, which is the more open source version and does not have all the Google stuff that Chrome has in it.
That's
And
correct.
then some of us like to be without a whole bunch of stuff that is so-called non-free, that is proprietary to a particular company. So we might go even farther than Mint. We might go to the Mint Debian edition, which does not have the Ubuntu stuff. And there's a company called Canonical that's behind that. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about in that group.
Yeah, and you have Brave that works on all of them. You got Vivaldi, Opera. There's tons and tons of applications, especially in browsers. They go cross-platform. And the reason they want to go cross-platform, more people using their product.
Yeah, a lot of the freeware we use in Windows did originate as something for Linux.
Yes. That's
so
the only one big difference is if it came from Linux, it's not classified a Windows program because it does not register itself inside the registry. It's a standalone running program usually.
there are some versions that have been ported in such a way they actually do use the Windows registry.
Yeah, but they're so rare right now. It's like, who cares?
But anyway.
Yeah. But I mean,
I'm pretty sure everybody has heard of LibreOffice, OpenOffice, and maybe people have heard of the GIMP, which is sort of the poor cousin of Photoshop,
right.
And various other things we can use in Windows, including Inkscape.
Right.
But LibreOffice was one of the big ones that people use in place of Microsoft Office.
Right. I use it myself.
And so anything else we want to talk about Linux, or should we move on to another topic?
I think we should move on to another subject, and I'm trying to find this next thing that I wanted to bring up, but I'm having difficulties at the second. I don't know if you guys know, but there is a way to have Microsoft Edge switch over into IE mode.
Oh, yes.
Um,
That's been in effect for quite some time for businesses that used to use Windows 7 with IE for business purposes. Well, they didn't want to give it up. So finally, Microsoft created the Edge browser, and it gave it the capability of running in IE mode for those businesses.
right. I discovered this. Making a note here. I discovered this particular thing because I have at home, I have a security system DVR setup that I've installed some years ago, and was having some compatibility issues on getting it to display the cameras and running the application program for it, and in the browser. And the tech person that I was working with said, well, you need to switch over into IE mode, Internet Explorer mode. And they kind of walked me through it. I was hoping that I could find the notes on how to do that, but I was not able to quickly find that. But there is the ability in settings to go into IE mode.
Yes, and I can't remember the exact location because I've never had to use it.
And I did, and it works very well. I'm just trying to see if I can find the
Up in the search box of settings,
Chat.
just put in IE mode.
There's also a link that I put into chat for Microsoft support, which has an article about it.
There you go. And to just quickly display, I could share what my camera sees if anyone's interested. And here you go. This is my DVR that's running in my house. And you can see my camper on the left, and you see the front door, and then back side of the house in the backyard. And this is an old system that I put in, probably 10 plus years ago. So it's not a new, well, maybe even longer than that. It's not a new system by any means. It's made by Anki, but apparently they never updated the drivers in the system to work anything other than Internet Explorer mode. So for what it's worth. But I can't find my notes on what to do and how to get there.
That's why the support article is in chat.
Right. And I'll stop my sharing there.
So in the address bar, type edge://settings/default browser, and then slide the allow sites to be reloaded in Internet Explorer toggle to on.
Yeah. Or if you just go straight into Edge settings, default browser, and the second box is Internet Explorer compatibility, and you got two lines there per se for default setting or allow, do not allow, and explore Internet Explorer mode pages. You can add things there if you have specific pages you need to have compatibility with.
Right.
Yeah. Then you restart the Microsoft Edge browser. And then when you encounter a page that needs it, just select reload in Internet Explorer mode, and then it will work. And they have something about earlier versions of Edge, but let's not get into that detail.
Right. It was something I never knew existed. I didn't know there was this backward compatibility built right into Edge.
Yeah, it wasn't originally in the first Edge, but they put it in the second Edge that we're all using nowadays.
Yeah, I think when they went over to using the Chromium base, they decided they would have to, for businesses, include the ability to go into IE mode for things such as ActiveX and various other scripting things.
Yeah, especially since they've been wanting to remove IE from Windows altogether.
Well, they effectively have.
It's still out there in settings on 10. I didn't check on 11.
It lurks in there, but it would be really difficult to turn it on. Although, you know, you have to do a little digging around in the settings for Edge. I think you can still do it in Windows 11.
Wait, did I miss that? Are you saying that in Windows 11, in Edge, it does not have the compatibility mode?
No, 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 no. I
Oh.
did not say that.
That's
According to the support, the support page does not say you can't do it in 11.
There's advanced features in Windows. Some are turned on, some are turned off. For example, if you want to use hypervisor, a form of virtual machine in Windows Pro Edition, then you have to go out to this advanced features, turn that on. But otherwise, there's one in there for Windows Internet Explorer, and it can be turned on or off. I usually turn mine off. Why have it loaded in? Because I don't use the damn thing. So, but if I wanted to, and it's still out on 11, then I can put a check mark in, say, go ahead, okay. It will load in the code necessary. Then you have to reboot, and theoretically, you have the last version of IE available, which I think is 11.
I think you're right, Tim.
And God knows the last time that was ever patched. So you use it at your own risk, because you are talking about a extremely insecure browser at this time, and you're going to be totally reliant upon other security and defense capabilities of your operating system and third-party software you may have loaded and running, such as an AV program, such as a VPN, things like that.
Yeah, for Sanford's purposes, since he only wants it to run on his local network, there might be
Right.
some way of putting some kind of a rule or a sandbox around IE or around Edge when it's in IE mode.
Right.
Well, in 10 doesn't have it, but 11 has, if you've got the right hardware, a sandbox mode in the security software from Microsoft.
Yeah,
But-
you could do some kind of app isolation.
Right.
But either way, you would have access to your camera.
Right. And the other thing that you could do if you wanted to run 11 in an intranet mode, which is what you're really talking about here, then you could also have a firewall that has outbound rules and say, this is not going out to the internet. It stays in-house. And there's ways of doing that. Some are replacement firewall third-party programs. Some are add-ons to Microsoft's standard inept firewall to strengthen it and improve preventing things from exiting out of your system without your knowledge and permission to do so. I use that kind of software myself.
Okay, I think we covered that subject. Was there anything, I'm looking on the FYIs to see if anything hits me with a 2x4, and so far nothing has. There was something in here about what's the difference between terminal mode and what was it?
Terminal and PowerShell.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Windows Terminal versus PowerShell, how they differ.
Right.
10 has PowerShell as its maximum, and in 11, it started off with PowerShell and switched to terminal, which is another thing borrowed in Windows from a Linux system.
All right, so what is the difference here? You know, I don't know one from another.
Well, if you're not into going into terminal mode to do some things, it's going to be Greek to you. But they have substantial improvements. PowerShell, the default version is lame. There's Microsoft employees that are continuing to make improvements to PowerShell that you can download and kind of like a third-party app. I think you can get it also from the Microsoft Store to get the latest version of PowerShell. But
the latest version is on GitHub.
Okay. It's one of these things. The GitHub has got a lot of stuff out there from Microsoft employees. Windows Terminal gives you a feeling of a Linux operating system. And if you're a developer of software, they prefer developing in the Linux environment, even if the software is going to be exclusively in Windows. But at the same time, too, there is in Linux what's called a sudo command. That's coming to terminal. It may already be there, but I haven't seen it yet. But it's been a while since I got into terminal. And but I do know that it is sudo is coming to terminal on Windows. And what sudo means is super user do. And on Linux, it's a timed out feature that I think is live for 15 minutes after you give the password. And but there's a way in Linux to make it on until you turn it off. But
yeah, well, basically, it's a matter of in Linux, you are always running as user. And this is a way to temporarily run as administrator or root.
Right.
You can open what's known as a root terminal, which will, instead of seeing a $sign, you'll see a pound sign. But in Windows, that's not going to be what happens, because some parts of Windows always run as an administrator,
Well,
no matter what.
See, the thing is in Windows, especially like 11, but it also applies to 10 to some extent, not exactly the same. But I have in 11, if I right-click the Start button, I get a pop-up menu that can also be brought up with the Windows key and the X key. It's called the X menu. And you'll have plain Windows Terminal. That's as a plain user and what you can do. And right below it is Windows Terminal in parentheses admin. You have to give the administrator's password, and you have full administrator rights to do most everything you want. There are a few exceptions.
Yeah, I've done both with PowerShell 7.4, which is the advanced one.
Right.
Sometimes I had to do a few things because I like to limit Windows updates, and there are these drivers that keep trying to downgrade my Intel graphics driver, so I have to hide them or tell Windows, don't ever give me any more drivers, but I do want some of the other drivers. So
yeah, that's the thing in Windows under 11, you can select what drivers you want to install. You don't have to take it all like in Windows 10. even though they gave you very few Windows drivers in 10, you had to take whatever they gave you. In 11, you have to say, I want this driver, I want this driver, I want this driver. When it's installed on your system, you will get your updates automatically.
Yeah, but just to be clear, we still in Windows 11, we are stuck with pretty much all or nothing about getting all the other updates, especially the security ones.
Yes, and that you're not going to get away from, at least not that I'm seeing anywhere. So all the other updates do come in normally. But for example, right now, if it's strange under Windows 11 versus 10, but they're really pushing hard now, getting drivers from Intel, if you have an Intel-based computer, or from AMD for an AMD system. And these are, it's Intel is the primary creator of Intel-based motherboards, regardless of who the manufacturer's name is printed on the board. They created the majority of them. And
they have the basic chipset drivers, but my Asus board has things where Asus has its own drivers.
that's true.
And they are different from Intel generic.
That's true.
But what I was talking about is Microsoft Update will give me my Intel drivers, but it gives older versions, and it won't give me the ARC or the WHQL drivers. So I don't get these fancy tools like what I'm using now.
Well, wait a minute. Now, in 11, are you aware that when you're doing a monthly update, go down to advanced drivers? I want to get the right terminology.
It's advanced, then optional updates, and then drivers are part of that.
Right.
But my point is, there used to be a tool you could download that was a troubleshooter that would allow you to hide updates if they were causing issues, like these Intel drivers that would downgrade my graphics driver.
Okay.
However, that's all being moved over to PowerShell, to the terminal. So I have learned how to use the terminal ways of doing it. So I can hide pretty much anything, including a cumulative update if I want to, or as long as I want.
On 10, there is a hide program they don't really want you to use. In fact, they'll try and block it from download. It can be downloaded. It can be used. I used it on the security update that ended with 4441. It would not work correctly. And the reason is they're trying to stuff 800 kilobytes of information into a smaller area that might be only about 500 megabytes in size.
And that's 800 megabytes they're trying to stuff in.
Right. Into a smaller space. And
that's the recovery partition. That's the recovery partition.
Right. And it has to do with a BitLocker vulnerability they found out about.
Yeah.
So if you have BitLocker, you really need to learn how to use a partition manager. Go find the recovery partition and expand it to about 850 megabytes in size. And then when 4441 tries to execute, you can then go ahead and let it do it, and everything works just fine.
Yeah, just make sure that if you're one of these people like me who's dual booting with Linux, don't try to move or change sizes of Linux X partitions, X4.
Right.
Because 99% of the time, if you try to do that, you will destroy them. They will no longer function. Whereas with Windows partitions, NTFS, you can do whatever you want by way of moving and resizing. They're okay.
But using a partition manager, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, that's something we aren't getting into right now. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so is there any other last questions or comments for our meeting tonight? Tom?
Yeah, this is a little side note, as far as car technology and that. There's an article out that's talking about if all of a sudden you see a jump in your insurance rates, that you could ask for your Lexus Nexus report. And what it is, like Ford, GM, Tesla, and a few others are forwarding your driver's data. In other words, your computer chip, it's recording everything. And it's given data to this outfit. And the insurance companies are using it to grade your insurance.
Right. And
I mean,
it's mostly to nail the bad drivers.
is what? What'd you say?
It's mostly to nail bad drivers.
Right.
Now,
Right.
where are they getting this data from?
From your car. It's uploaded automatically. You can't do anything about it to the manufacturer. The manufacturers then are making it available to the insurance industry.
If you have a Tesla, you're tied in constantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
This would be on a new car, like an electric car, or a Honda Civic.
It goes back a few years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It goes back a few years.
Yes.
But again, the main ones are Ford, GM, the Tesla, and Toyota wasn't on the list. But yeah, I mean, it's just automatically recorded and sent, and they're selling this information to the
So it
insurance
has to be
company.
a car that's connected to the internet somehow.
Well, most cars these days are four-wheel rolling computers with internet connectivity.
No, not. I don't buy the fact that all cars have computer connectivity.
Well, I mean, I got a 2001 that doesn't have that kind of stuff, and
Yes.
I got a 2007 that doesn't have that kind of stuff. So granted on that, but if you get any car that's probably been made in the last 3 to 5 years,
Okay.
odds are you are connected to the internet all the time because you got all kinds of dashboard displays, entertainment systems. People want to be able to use their smartphones anywhere they're going, and they use it through the car's internet connectivity.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called black box data, and black box data are common to most recent cars.
All right.
just-
Thanks, Tom.
What?
No, thank you.
Yeah,
And-
the black spot data is just like in airplanes, trains, and even that ship that took out the Francis Key Bridge.
Yeah, the black box data are used in the event of a crash also to analyze what was going on just prior. And police reports sometimes refer to them.
That's
Would
right.
this also be the data that's collected if you opted to have an insurance program that is collecting that data that you plug into your OBS?
You can do that too. That's optional.
That's separate.
See,
Okay.
if you wanted to have a Toyota, like he was saying, or say a Kia, something like that, and you plug in a module underneath the steering wheel, you can then have them collect your data as you do the car, and maybe get a cut rate if you're a good driver. If you're a bad driver, you're going to avoid that like the plague.
Yeah, but there will still be black box data that will be uploaded.
Oh, yes.
Unless you're driving a very old car.
Yes, it has to be very, very.
Hey, Sanford,
Yes.
I just sent it to you. Your
So,
Gmail.
okay. Yeah. All right. I'll look for it. All right. Is there any other last questions for the evening? If not, I say thank you everybody for coming, and